to have that fight or flight kicked on.
Right.
And a lot of these children do end up growing up with PTSD because they're basically in a war zone in the home. It's a war zone between both parents.
Yes, yes, it's a war zone that they can't escape, right? So they're basically stuck there until they're able to grow up and get old enough to move out and live on their own. But by that time, how much damage is done? You know what I mean? Being in that environment for so long. And then also, I would like you to speak to this, Cassandra. What happens to children that were raised in those type of households? What kind of partners do they gravitate to? What kind of relationships do they tend to attract because they were in those kind of environments for such a long period of time?
Let's see. All right, there you go. We're here. How are you?
How are you?
Good, good. I wasn't sure if it was going to work. I said, oh, I think we're there. It took a little while to connect, but that's all right.
It was weird. I didn't hear you, but here we are. It was meant to happen, right?
Yes, definitely. So I wanted to just kind of jump right in and just kind of go over our topic. I don't have it in front of me. I'm in my car, as you can see. So I'm out there, but yeah, let's get into it. What are we going to talk about and share with the people tonight?
So tonight we are going to talk about parental alienation and the impact it has on children's mental health.
Yes, definitely. It is so detrimental to their mental health. You know what it's like? I don't know if you've been in a situation where you've been in constant stress. Like they compare it sometimes to a person that was in the military and in a combat zone, the constant fight or flight, just feeling anxious, not at ease, not knowing what's going to happen from 1 minute to the next. If you can only imagine that happens to a service person, that is actually what's going on with a child in their mind, watching the parental alienation take place, not knowing what to do as far as whether or not, do I take the mom's side? Do I take dad's side? Why am I being torn in the middle of all of this? So, it's just so it's damaging. And how long has the effects of that last with the child that has to grow up in that environment, Cassandra?
Well, I mean, we know that it doesn't just end in childhood.
Right.
These the impact can last well into adulthood. And
Yes.
I love the fact that you brought that up, because as you know, many of our servicemen and women are diagnosed with PTSD after
Yes.
combat, right?
Yes.
And essentially that's just your body responding to perceived threats
Right.
all the time.
Yes.
Even though the threat itself is no longer there, your body, your mind perceives you as being in a situation where you really need to have that fight or flight kicked on.
Right.
And a lot of these children do end up growing up with PTSD because they're basically in a war zone in the home. It's a war zone between both parents.
Yes, yes, it's a war zone that they can't escape, right? So they're basically stuck there until they're able to grow up and get old enough to move out and live on their own. But by that time, how much damage is done? You know what I mean? Being in that environment for so long. And then also, I would like you to speak to this, Cassandra. What happens to children that were raised in those type of households? What kind of partners do they gravitate to? What kind of relationships do they tend to attract because they were in those kind of environments for such a long period of time? That's something that a lot of people don't think about.
It's really so important for people to understand that childhood experiences do determine a lot of lifelong patterns. And if you grow up in a situation where there is parental alienation, not only do you have a loyalty conflicts where you don't know who to be loyal to, there's also that anxiety and depression, but most importantly, the low self-esteem, because if one parent is talking negatively about the other parent and you're the child,
Right.
then of course you're going to feel bad about yourself because you are the product of both parents, right?
Exactly.
when you grow up, what happens? Well, you find partners that will validate your inability to remain loyal, or your ability to remain loyal even though the loyalty is not warranted, meaning you will stay loyal to someone who doesn't deserve it, hence toxic partners.
That's where those toxic relationships come into play when you get of age, you know, when you're an adult, because you're so used to that. Has become your new normal. Toxic has become your new normal. So now you gravitate to those types of people. You end up, you know, like you said, being codependent. You're loyal to people that are not worthy of any loyalty at all whatsoever. And you just have that trauma bond that just continues to stick with you into adulthood. So the thing that parents that alienate their children, what they don't understand is you are basically setting your child up, one, to be either one alienated or an alienator, which we'll touch on that as well. So that child, when they grow up to be an adult, they're going to end up attracting people that are just that toxic, that are that controlling, manipulative, liars. You know what I mean? Those are the type of people that they attract. And then they get in these relationships, and then it starts spiraling out of control. And they're like, what happened? Why am I in this situation? And they don't get it. And what happens is, even when they leave that relationship, guess what? What happens when they go to their next relationship? What happens?
You attract the same thing.
The same, right?
The same thing. Or you end up having children with that partner, and history does what?
Oh, repeats itself. Oh. And that's the scary part, Cassandra. So, you know, okay, so let's talk about that, because now we're on it, being either the alienator or alienated. Now, how does that end up playing a part when you've been a child alienated yourself?
Man, that's rough, because generally speaking, what I found with people I've worked with is the child that has been alienated will grow up, have a partner, and has every desire to have that family that they long to have growing up.
Right.
So in their minds, this is going to be different. We're going to have, you know, family dinners, and we're going to be lovey-dovey and 50-50 and all of the things that a healthy family should be, right?
Right.
But this individual also has no idea what a healthy family really should be, because they never experienced it.
Exactly. They have no clue. So they just end up repeating the pattern. What is it? What do they say? You learn what you experience, or what it's not like, I'm gonna tell you this is the way how you learn what you live.
Right.
That's what that's what I was thinking. So you're just gonna follow the same pattern, because if you weren't taught any different, how are you gonna do different unless you do the work to see that there's an issue there with that upbringing and with that childhood, and if you ever come to that revelation, right? And then you start to work on yourself to, you know, better yourself, and to get out of those toxic patterns, to get healing, therapy, even coaching. And I mean, that's something that you have helped so many people with, Cassandra, that are in that situation. And just tell everyone how you help people when they're in those toxic patterns, to help them out.
Well, you know, the first thing I want to say is both of us help people, especially with you in the parental alienation side. So I do want to take a moment and just say thank you and honor the work that you're doing. Essentially, as far as coaching, what I say is you just need someone who's been there to tell you what to do, or to tell you what's worked for them, or to tell you which pitfalls to avoid. So essentially with coaching, it's not like counseling where you sit there and process your feelings. It's solution based. What's going on, and what do I need to get from point A to point B? And point B is usually where there's not a lot of pain, discomfort, just getting on with life, right? So if anybody needs coaching services, I would say, please, you know, reach out to me. DM me, I usually think is the best way, but coaching by Cassandra _ coaching by Cassandra on IG. Coaching by Cassandra on YouTube, where I post a lot of information, and of course, Coaching by Cassandra on Facebook. And Tyler, we know that we are spreading the news and the message and awareness and getting people free out of these toxic situations, and of course, helping the children. So where can the folks find you for coaching services?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, always reach out. I'm on Mind and My Healing on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So you can always reach out to me on either one of those platforms. DM, of course, if that's better for you, or I'm on Threads as well. So if you need something a little more secure and you don't want everyone seeing stuff, I mean, I get that. So these are some sensitive topics. So definitely reach out. We want to hear from you, and we care about you. And also, if there's something that you want to hear about, you want us to talk about and discuss, please reach out and let us know so that we can start talking about these subjects so that you can be informed and get the answers you need to help you through your, situation, whether it's parental alienation, narcissistic abuse, whether you're in emotional abuse. We want to help you. We want to give you our firsthand experience and then what we can do to get you to a better place so that you can live a healthier, happier life. Love.
Can I add one more ask before we go?
Yes.
I know a lot of folks are probably joining us on the replay. If you do see the replay, please take a moment to comment replay. Let us know that this message is reaching you. And please, please, please share with someone who needs to hear information.
Definitely share this information, comment, forward it to whoever you feel like they may need it, because you never know. You never know whose life you may impact just by doing a quick share. And remember, it doesn't cost you anything, so why not? Well, Cassandra, it's been a pleasure. We're going to see you again next week. Come on, give us a topic for next week. We'd love to talk about it with you.
Yes. Right. Thank you, Tyler. Have a good night. Take care, guys. Thanks so much. Bye.
Bye-bye.